the world's greatest fun frolic, with its beach miles long, all peppered with people. The place where merriment is king. Let's mingle with 1 million folks, folks who are just like all of us. 100,000 youngsters and oldsters, all swimming, playing, or resting, all getting their share of the sun and the fun, all refugees from the city heat, here where the beach meets the cool Atlantic, here in this great whirlpool of joy, here for a lark at Coney Island, world's biggest barrel of fun.
Hi, I'm Tom Rosano. I'm sitting here today, happen to be looking at a book of Coney Island, the old Coney Island. It brings back a lot of memories because I was born and raised there. I was born in 1932, and that was during the Big Depression. A lot of the old timers will remember that. It was a bad one, and it brought on very poor people with no jobs. You have a lot of that going on today, but not as bad as it was then. And my family was one of them, but the whole neighborhood was. I mean, you never even realized it. Everybody was poor. But as a child, this was a great place to grow up. Believe me, it was. You had so much fun. Lived a block and a half from all the entertainment, the beach, the boardwalk, all of the fun houses. I mean, after school, most of us lived in what was known as coal flats. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. If you had, say, 5 rooms, you had heat in the kitchen, which was done by a coal stove, which your mom could cook on, also had a gas stove. And then you had a belly stove in the living room. And in the wintertime, you got dressed to go to bed because it was cold. But it was a great life. If you turned to me and said, you're going to be born again tomorrow, choose your parents, I choose the same ones. Because it was a family time. There was no TVs. You had to be home every night by 6. Regardless of how old you were, if you're living in that house, you had to be home at 6 for dinner. Everyone around the dinner table. Mom served dinner. And believe me, the women of them days knew how to cook. They knew how to cook anything because there wasn't a lot of meat. A lot of macaroni and vegetables, but it was good. Today you pay a lot of money for that in a restaurant. You sit down for a plate of broccoli d'abo with macaroni, they want $12. For $12, Mom fed you for the month. That was a big difference. I enjoyed it, like I say, as a child. There was no money around. The parents didn't have money. The dad worked hard, but never made much. But there was always work to find, especially living in Coney Island. You would walk up to the avenue, and when they start to open up for the season, they always hired us kids to do different odd jobs around. And then you were old enough to get working papers, so I worked a lot of those rides. Worked on a cyclone. I worked on the parachute. I even painted by a parachute one time. Not by myself, I mean, you know, they hire a crew. And I worked on all the rides, bumper cars. It was great growing up there. It taught you how to become a grown-up, because as a young man in your teens, you were out working already. I mean, school was there, but the parents weren't that educated at the time, and you started working young. But there were a lot of good jobs around later on, like in the 40s. Right after the World War, there was a lot of good jobs. And I had taken a job. I had gotten married in 1950. I started working for Pepsi Cola. I was a route salesman. I enjoyed the work, I really did. It was rough work. I became a very good union man, though. Became a very good union man right after my dad passed away in 1959, when he worked so many years on a job. Because you have to understand, men that were raised and went through the Great Depression, any job they got their hands on, they were afraid to let go of. And when he passed, there was nothing. There was no benefits, nothing for Mom. But I took care of what I had to take care of, but it made me a good union man because I was out looking for benefits and good salaries. And I think that's how I ended up where I am today. I have been for the past 25 or 28 years. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Teamster Local, and I cover the soft drink and brewery industry. And my job is to take care of the finances of the union and help to see that the men get good contracts and good benefits. But like I say, growing up in Coney Island as a kid, you couldn't ask for a better place. You were raised in a playland. There was always something to do, always fun. Just walk down the block to the beach, on the boardwalk, all the rides. Of course, you had to have the nickel. Oh, I can give you another one. When I was like 14, you went over to Nathan's. You got a hot dog, a bag of potatoes, and a glass mug of root beer, 15 cents. But 15 cents was hard to come by. It wasn't that easy. You cashed in those bottles, 2 cents a piece. You got your 15 cents out of it. Or you did some odd jobs. It was enjoyable. I just hope that the youth of today can find some enjoyment in their growing up, because I enjoyed mine. Talking about having a lot of fun being raised in Coney Island. I remember I was a young teenager, like 14, and a good friend of mine, Jerry, his uncle, worked the side gate at Steeplechase in the summer. And we used to go to the side gate, and he'd have the tickets, because when you went into Steeplechase, it was a fenced-in area, and you would buy a ticket to go in for the rides. And he would ask the people for the tickets that they didn't have all the punches on. And when we'd come up to the gate, like on a Saturday night, you'd be taking your young girlfriend out, and he'd give us all the free tickets, and we'd go into that side gate, and we'd ride on all the rides for hours. The girls thought we were great, because we were treating them to all that. It didn't cost us nothing though. It was fun. And when we worked on the rides, working the Cyclone was a lot of fun. I mean, it was people screaming and hollering all the time, and that first hill was really something. As you were coming down that first hill, you were looking straight down. And it was a real joy. And then the parachute. Parachute was another one. You went up on that chute, and when that hit the top, you felt like you were just hanging in midair until it coasted all the way down. It was really a drop like in a real parachute when you were coming down. I was sorry to see it close down, although it's still there as a monument. And then the bumper cars. That was another one I worked on. That's when the people bump into each other. You had to get out on that floor and break apart the cars when they got stuck and all, and then go around and get the tickets punched again for it. Oh, and by the way, let me show you something. This is a place where they used to take moving pictures, not moving pictures, still pictures, but you would get behind the bar and take a picture or something. This was one of the features there where people could get behind a clown outfit and just put their head in it. You've probably seen that around. Well, I want to show you something. My friend Jerry and I, when I was 18-year-old, there I am at that bar. I was 18 there. And we took a picture. He had come home on leave from the Navy. That was in 1950. And like I said, it was a real fun place growing up. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.